you're putting your life on the line too. So like,
Yeah.
you could die. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good deal.
Looks like we got us another hit. Yep.
Let's play some of this. It's a pretty good argument on this particular topic, and it covers both sides. This is Breaking Points. The name of the video is Florida Construction Sites Empty. Is it worth it?
So you're seeing states start to respond to it. Governor Ron DeSantis earlier in May signed into law a new immigration bill, which by July is going to require all companies to use E-Verify, which is basically requires you to run your employees through the federal system. If you don't, the fines are extraordinarily large, like I think $10,000 a pop or something like that. It also requires hospitals to take kind of the immigration information from patients who come in, and other ways to tighten the screws around the immigrant population. Here's how some of the local reporting has been unfolding, even before it has gone into actual official effect.
But a new immigration crackdown by the Florida legislature and Governor Ron DeSantis is now making it harder for them to live and work in the state.
And even though the policy is not yet in effect, CBS News Miami's Gabriela Arzola shows us how it has already shaken the undocumented community along with employers they work for.
A recent survey from the Migration Policy Institute says there are around 800,000 undocumented immigrants right here in the state of Florida, many taking jobs like construction and agriculture, but that may not be for long.
Around South Florida, labor workers are becoming more and more scarce by the day, according to some employees.
People aren't showing up to work because they're scared of being deported.
And critics say Senate Bill 1718 is to blame.
None of the desk, Mr. Speaker.
According to the bill, businesses could face up to a $10,000 fine per undocumented employee, and the state could revoke their license. For construction workers like Jose, he says half of the workers are already gone.
Many workers are leaving thinking they're going to be deported, so they're going to other states.
And if you notice, that was TikTok. Like, so this is
this is a big thing on TikTok.
It's a local news report that went on a TikTok, and these types of reports have been going viral. And it's creating an impression that might not quite yet be justified by the numbers. But I wanted to play one more just so people have a sense of what's going around TikTok. Here's one more that's really been making the rounds, if we can roll this side.
Hello, everyone. This is an update. Today is Tuesday, May the 16th. It's not Sunday. There is my truck with grass. And this is a construction site here in Davenport, Florida, 20 miles from Orlando. And this is all you see. It's 9 a.m. Usually at this time, there's a lot of people here working, all kind of contractors doing their job. Roofers, of course, a lot of noise and loud Mexican music. This is what you hear today. So it is happening. It is not fake. It is not a joke. You see one contractor there. This is all thanks to Ron DeSantis.
Anecdotal, obviously.
What you want to make comments?
No, I just thought it was funny that you said it Mexican music, like the loud music.
Yeah.
Nah,
play some more.
Yeah, go ahead.
But we don't know if it's fully there. That said, it's probably not a surprise. I mean, because this was long predicted. I'm even looking here at Tampa Bay Business Journal. They have a headline that just came out literally yesterday saying immigration law could significantly impact Florida's construction and agriculture industries. Here again, though, I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's true. It is true that enforcing the law will have consequences. That doesn't mean that it's a bad idea. It just means like, okay, well, then we need a process through which we can rectify this mismatch in the way that apparently all construction and agriculture operates with under the table illegal labor, and we're all just supposed to be cool with that. That just doesn't seem like a good status quo. And look, I'm not saying it doesn't have consequences, but maybe consequences are worth it.
Well, we have people have a couple significant complaints about life in America right now. One, is that housing is too expensive.
Very true.
2 is that food is too expensive.
All true.
This policy will drive up the prices of all of those things substantially. I think the big mistake we made came actually, ironically, when we hardened the border and made it much more difficult for seasonal laborers to go back and forth between Mexico and Central America and the United States, because we had this incorrect sense that people who were coming here to work the fields, to work construction jobs and sending money home, didn't want to live in Mexico or El Salvador and Honduras. They really, really wanted to live in the United States. And it's kind of a chauvinistic, almost quaint, cute like idea that really our country's so awesome that everybody wants to move here. No, they wanted to come here, work really, really hard for 4 months, send money back home, relax back at home with their families, do work back there, and then come back, make American money again, send money back home.
That's very true.
And keep that going. We did that. That worked for like 100 years or something like that. And then we said, no, you're not doing that anymore. So now all of a sudden, you had all of these migrant laborers who are now trapped north of the wall, north of this hard border. So then they send for their families to come up with them too. And you start then they start building roots here in the country. And so we've always had a system where, we don't pay $15 to $30 an hour for fruit pickers.
But I think we should. And look, if the strawberries cost more, like they cost more. And I think that's kind of where I'm getting at. It's like I just feel like some of this is almost reverse chauvinism, as in the idea is that strawberries can only be picked by people who aren't from here. It's like, well, wait, why not? I mean, people will do anything for the right wage. It's just that the wage is low.
But we have a system that the second that wages start to rise, our system, our Fed chair, whoever it is, in whatever party,
nuke the economy,
is going to watch them be like, you know what? We have too many people working. We need to push wages back down. So we have built a system in which wages can't go up. And so the only thing you can do is then allow people to do labor arbitrage, where the amount of money that they're making in the field isn't a lot if they're going to live full time in Florida, but it would allow them to actually have a nice life and send enough money back to Guatemala.
So it's like, whenever someone says, the people at McDonald's should get paid at least $15 an hour, the argument is that this is going to hurt the corporations. This is going to hurt the production. This is going to make, them have to close stores and so forth and so on. It's going to hurt capitalism. That's what they scream, So, but that's where this is where the problem lies. Yeah, I agree with that. So, but that's where the problem lies, is that, that they don't want to pay these people proper wages. So that's the reason why you have these immigrants who do these jobs, is because they are a created class that don't have legal status. So therefore they can be exploited, and that they can be paid these freaking starvation ass wages to do these jobs. So, but then instead of paying people the proper amount for these jobs, that they don't. And the same people who argue that immigration and these people should be legal or whatever, are the same people that argue to protect the corporations and not force them to pay people properly. So there's no win in this situation. It's lose. And as a result, the regular folks are the ones who are gonna fucking suffer, because we're gonna pay, like you said, we're gonna pay more for fruit. We're gonna pay more for our houses.
The problem is that, like I said, I mean, for people who strongly believe this way, or those who are the hyper capitalists, if you want to even really call them capitalists, because they're making money, but they're more on a system of their own personal greed, like what affects the country. Like, if their profits go down, not to say that they're losing money, but if their profits are not as much, and we just so happen to have more of a fair dispersal of monies, then that's a problem. And that's where, like, I think on both sides, but I'm just going to leave. Both sides have an issue with with things being fair, because if we have people that's working and doing the job. They own many businesses where they're still seeing the majority of the money that runs through the country. Like, how can like they won't ever lose until they have to get to a point like this. But there's a side that has always supported the hey, let's just get some new faces in here, new people in here, so that they can exploit them. They can use them as the workhorse, the slave, pretty much the slave class, because they're not even like nowhere near what we consider minimum wage. And then the people who are at minimum wage are still, they're suffering just at a little bit higher position than these people. So it's really insane to keep the cycle going. And like I said, right now there's a side that's being demonized because they're trying to put some limit to. It's like, hey, what I'm saying, if we're going to ever get any order, if we're going to ever get a fair distribution of monies, we can't keep letting this cycle happen. And here goes another generation where we're going to have a slave class that's not even like bro, like, who knows what these people really get paid? Like, I really would hate to know. I like personally like to see it for myself.
And it has a downward pressure of wages for everyone, because as long as you have this group that can be exploited, then they don't have to pay regular folks, regular citizens, proper wages, because they can just get this guy and pay him complete trash.
But when the conservatives, the Republicans are fighting that, okay, no, we can't allow this to happen, they get put up there as if they hate these people, or they're the racists, all these things. But no, they're trying to put together, like, their agenda is more where, okay, look, it's okay if we have smaller stores, if we have 10,000 business owners instead of one little family that owns all of the stores. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's put the competition back in the game. And then like, I really think people really don't see.
I do not believe that is what Ron DeSantis is trying to do with this at all.
Did you see what his policies? Did you see what his policies was about?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of his stuff.
The laws that he's making is so that, okay, like, he's going to penalize these corporations, these companies that are hiring people that are not citizens, that so that, okay, either we make these people citizens and we pay everybody a fair wage, but because he's not allowing them to be able to remarket his state and say, hey, we're going to just start up another slave class, here goes another. Like, at some point, to be progressive, you have to make some strong and bold moves, and that's what he's doing. They don't consider being progressive, but if you continue to let the same cycles happen over and over and over and over and over, continuing to do the same thing that was happening 200 years ago, 300 years ago, is not progress.
And I agree with what the point that you're making right here, and I think that would be great. I just don't think that is his actual intention. I don't think he's genuine with that.
I know you don't, because you're buying into the narrative that they have set, because like, they want to keep things the way it is, and because like, there's certain. Like I said, bro, I know you long enough. I know that you want the right thing, but I think you're not seeing it from the other angle, where like, they're misusing his actions because they want to present him as the negative. Let's not let people get behind this and feel like he's doing the right thing. Let's tell black people that they're under a certain new scrutiny because they live in Florida, or if you try to go visit Florida, you're gonna, like, all of these different narratives that are insane, because, like, do you know how many black people live in Florida that just all of a sudden now, because of these new laws that's going to affect them, like they're trying to get inside of people's minds and make them not even spend money with Florida because they want to present them as the negative of what's going on, because they're pushing against their continued slave narrative that that always been about. Let's not forget the KKK is the beginner of the Democratic Party. Please, like, this is an idea that's run real deep, and it's just got very sophisticated on how they, send their messaging. They always make it seem like they're for the people, but overall, it still exploits.
Let me play some more of their argument on this topic.
No defense here of the Federal Reserve, or I'm more saying, like, something has got to give. In my opinion, I'd rather the Fed give and not, U.S. immigration law, where you actually effectively have a complete lawless system. And we have no idea how many people are even here in the U.S. illegally. Literally none, because there's no proper census. And then yet somehow we do have a census, and yet they also count whenever it comes to the Electoral College. Somebody go and riddle me, even though they can't vote. Riddle me that one. I still have never exactly gotten my hand around that. And I think that generally comes, and look, I hate bringing personal stuff into this, but, it cost my parents thousands of dollars to become citizens of this country. It's a pain in the ass to go through the green card process. You can't just waltz into any other country on earth and just say, you know what, I'm staying here. I want to go to work, and, and you can't do anything to me. Try doing that in literally anywhere else, and they'll laugh at you and throw you out almost immediately. Do I think we should be above that? Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we have to have such a permissive system as what we have right now. I have nothing but empathy and compassion for people who want to come here. Obviously, everybody on earth, a lot of people on earth at least, want to come to the United States. But that also doesn't mean you have a right to do it based on your terms.
And look, so this is another delusion. Like earlier, the other guy was saying that a lot of these people don't really want to come here and live here. Like, and I be making this argument all the time, and I think that it totally gets lost in this conversation, is that these people move back and forth. They're coming here to make money, and then they go back. They don't really want to live here. A lot of these people don't. They have homes in their home place. They just can't make the money that they want to make there. So they come here, they make money, they go back. It's a seasonal migration that they do. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. These people don't want to become, permanent residents of the United States. They don't.
Yeah, and I'm certain that would be, like, if the things were different in their own country, they would just be there. But we got to also look at the fact that a lot of the things that's happening in those countries, this destabilization of those countries, comes from some of the decisions of our leaders, what we call leaders. So I hear you, and maybe that's one of their ways to try to say that this is a benefit to them. I'm gonna ruin your country so you can come over and work for us, and then you can still have a way to send money back. Like, bro,
and then this arrogance where it's like everybody in the whole world wants to come to the United States. That's what he just said. Like, get all the way the F out of here, bro. Like, get all the way the F out of here. No, there's people around the world who looks at the United States as a horrible place to be, and they don't want to come here, like, at all. Like, they have economic opportunities here, but they don't want to live here. Like, that's delusional. Let me play some more.
But I think that you say, bro, just because of certain things that's happening in the media and how they're trying to present it does not make it that, okay? Like, yes, some people have that certain sentiment, but that's not, I don't think that's the average person. Like,
but that was Sager's argument right here. That's why I was saying that. Let me play some more.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a mutually beneficial transaction, not something where it's just up to one person. And, I guess the populace itself doesn't get a real vote. And I think that's where some of the, what you referenced earlier, that is where the tougher mindset comes from. You're like, hey, hold on. They're like, this is not fair. And I think that's what's reflected, I think, in the polling, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, I guess who's going to do these jobs? I mean,
I just see no reason why Americans can. I mean, listen. I mean, they were paying, if I was younger and came from a different background, and
if I was younger and if I came from a different background, okay, all of these ifs, but no, you're saying you wouldn't do the job, and it's a lot of other Americans who are going to say the same thing. I don't want to go out there and do that job. So then, like, this guy is making the argument: who is going to do the job? That's the whole reason why Florida is suffering, and that's the whole reason why these construction sites and these farms are empty, is because nobody wants to do this work.
$18 an hour. Like, maybe I would do it,
I don't.
Or maybe a lot of Americans would do it. Like, there's no reason why American citizens can't do these jobs. It's just a lot of them don't want to because it's very cheap.
Then strawberries and orange juice just become luxury items for the super rich.
And I agree that doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, listen, eggs, for example, have not gone up in price since 1970. You want to know why? And it's because of an aggressive government subsidy program. Well, I see no reason
Except
why.
for recently, when we had to kill 1 billion.
Well, we had crazy egg inflation. We're actually below overall inflation. Fun update.
So wait. So he used the argument that the eggs didn't go up in price because of a huge government subsidy program. So, but then, these are the same. He comes from the conservative point of view, talking about small government. That's not small government when you have government subsidies to control the prices of these food items by inputting money into it so that these people can make money and produce these products. You know what I'm saying? So that's the opposite. And that is an argument related to socialism. So there goes another part of people's mind being completely screwed, because this guy is anti-social, anything socialism, he's anti that. So, but then you're making an argument that government social programs should be bigger, because he's saying that we're doing it for the eggs, then we should do it for the orange juice, or, these other products too. So then that means bigger government. That means more socialism.
Good evening, my little one. I shall make you psychotic.
Mommy, what does psychotic mean?